series of navigating MyAccountingLab, and in this part we're going to be specifically looking at completing a homework assignment. So once you're in your home screen of MyAccountingLab, you will go to the Do Homework tab, and you will see all of the homework assignments that are currently available for you to work on and the ones that are past due. So the ones that are past due, you will note, do not have a link. You can't click on them and go anywhere. However, the ones that are available for you to currently work on, you will see look like an internet link that you can actually click on and go to the assignment. So we're going to demo the type of assignment you may see on MyAccountingLab. We're going to click on this demonstration, and it will show you the problems that are included in this homework assignment. Typically you'll have more than one. You will have multiple assignments or questions available for you to do in this homework. And of course you would want to complete them all unless otherwise instructed. So I'm going to click on this first problem, and this one the only problem. It takes just a second to load the problem. And so you can see it lays out everything pretty nicely for you. And we'll read the problem. The arborists provide 3 spraying services in the company's home county. George Rinkas, the owner, incurred the following operating costs for the month of October 2012. Then we're given this icon with these green words behind it. You need to pay particular attention to this information, as this is important in finishing this problem. So if you click on the icon, it will bring up a data table. In this case, our data table has our operating expenses included in that table. The arborist earned $29,000 in revenues for the month of October by spraying trees totaling 25,000 feet in height. And then we're given another icon which includes the requirements for the problem. So I will click on that icon, and it brings up another box of information. These are the questions I'm going to have to complete. But note in the actual problem, they're only giving me part 1 right now. What they're going to allow you to do is complete part 1, check your answer to make sure you're correct before you move on. So let's see how we do. So what's the first thing listed on an income statement? This problem gives you drop-down menus. So you don't actually have to type it in, you can actually select from a list. So we know that the first thing included in an income statement is our sales revenue. They tell me in the problem that my sales revenue is $29,000. So now I will type in 29,000. You can use commas or not use commas. MyAccountingLab is smart enough to know the difference, and if you do, that's fine, and if you don't, that's fine as well. We'll look at these percentages here in a little bit. So let's move on down. The next thing in the income statement is your expenses. So again, here are our operating expenses, and we want to list our expenses from greatest to least. So the first expense we will list, if we look at our list over there, the most expensive one is salaries and wages. So we'll list that one first, $9,000. The second most expensive one is chemicals, and that is $4,700. The third is gasoline and utilities at $4,170. The fourth would be supplies expense at $800. The fifth would be depreciation expense on building and equipment. So again, make sure you're selecting the correct one, because they give you 2 in the drop-down box. But the one we want here first is depreciation on building and equipment of $600. And the last one would be depreciation on the truck of $450. You notice this next one is indented a little bit, so we're thinking, okay, they're wanting a total there. So this would be our total operating expenses. So then you would add up your expenses and put that number here. So MyAccountingLab gives you some little tools over here in the little toolbox. One of those, and we'll look at each one of these, but one of those is a calculator, little handy tool. So I'm just going to add up these expenses. So my first one is 9,000 plus 4,700 plus 4,170 plus 800 plus 600 plus 450 for a total of $19,720. And my last line will be my net operating income or net operating loss. So we really don't know which one, but if you look at your sales revenue, we can see revenue is $29,000. Total expenses were almost $20,000, so we know we're going to have an income there. So I want the difference in $29,000 and $19,720. So I go back down to my calculator, clear it out. 29,000 minus 19,720 is $9,280. Now, if you look over here at your requirements, they not only want us to prepare the income statement, but to also compute the ratio of total operating expenses to total revenue and operating income to total revenue. So everything is based on a percentage of our revenues. So revenue is 100% of revenue. Well, we also need a percent of total expenses to sales revenue. So to get that, again, we'd clear out our calculator, and we would have our total expenses of $19,720 divided by our sales revenue of $29,000. That would give me 68%. Now, I shouldn't include a decimal here because they're giving me a percent sign. So if I typed in 0.68, that would actually be 0.68%, not 68%. So please be careful with that formatting. And then net income, clear out my calculator. A couple of ways you could do this one. You know that net income is going to be the 100% less the 68%. So you know it's 32%. To double check yourself, you could take net income of $9,280, divide that by the $29,000 in sales revenue, and you get the 32%. Once you're satisfied with your answers, click Check My Answer, and it will tell you wonderful job, nice work, or it will tell you that you're incorrect, and you will need to go back and find where you made your mistake. It will not tell you that. It will give you some hints, but it will not be specific as to what you did incorrectly. Once you click OK, move on, it opens up Part 2 for you. So in Part 2, they want me to determine the unit operating cost of spraying 1 foot of tree height. So you have to pay careful attention to what it's asking for. It wants my unit cost, not unit revenues. So we're going to use this $19,720 number. And we sprayed 25,000 feet in height. So we're simply going to take the total cost of $19,720 and divide that. I forgot to clear out my calculator. That's important too. 19,720 divided by the 25,000 feet gives me a cost of not quite 79 cents per feet. But look, I've got more green words here. I need to pay attention. Round your answer to 2 decimal places. So I would round that to 0.79. Well, let's see how we did. Excellent. We did it. We click OK. That's going to open the next one for us. The manager of the arborist must keep unit operating costs below 50 cents per foot in order to get his bonus. Did the manager meet the goal? No. Our cost is 79 cents per foot, so we did not meet our goal. Good job. Click OK. We go to the last requirement, which is number 4. What kind of system? So what kind of system could the arborist use to integrate all their data? The arborist could use A or AN, one of the 3, to integrate all their data. In this case, the best choice is an ERP system, Enterprise Resource Planning System. Check answer. Nice work. Click OK, and it allows you to save it and move on to the next homework problem that's been assigned. So before doing that, what I want us to look at is some of the tools that MyAccountingLab gives you. If you're working on a homework assignment or homework problem and you get stuck, this is a great tool right here called Help Me Solve This. If you click on the Help Me Solve This, it will actually give you a problem very similar to the one you're working on. But in addition to all the information, just like the one before, it also gives you a scenario of here's what you should be looking for. Here's what these ratios mean. In addition, you don't have to work it out specifically like we did on the calculator. You can actually skip ahead. So there's my income statement, and by skipping ahead or doing the Help Me Solve This, this does not count towards your grade. It's just a tool for you. So you could skip ahead, fills in the information for you, and the numbers, and then notice something a little bit different. It actually leads you through how we calculated those ratios, step by step, how you do it. Whereas our original problem did not do that. We just had to figure it out on our own. And then the formula to determine the unit cost, which we weren't given in our original problem. It kind of leads you through how to get that unit cost. And then it, again, explains more things in detail. So I encourage you to use this Help Me Solve This. Very, very handy tool. In addition, they give demo docs for some of the problems. Demo docs is typically a video recording. So we'll let it load here. Give it a second to load.
Dark Spray Tanning has hired you as their new management accountant. Data for the month ended April 30th, 2010 is shown here. Requirement 1. Your new boss has heard of the term
So you can get help that way as well. In addition, if you're away from home and don't have your textbook and you're working on your homework, you have your textbook here if you purchased a textbook with a kit or if you purchased the ebook with your MyAccountingLab subscription. If you did, you'll have this tab, Textbook Pages, if your instructor made it available to you. You click on that, it will actually take you to the pages in your textbook that correspond with the problem that you're working on. So very handy tool. And there's the income statement we just did. So again, very handy tool there. We've already talked about the calculator. In addition, if you have a problem in the homework and you can't figure it out, and you've gone through the Help Me Solve This, you still can't get it, you can always click on Ask My Instructor. This will pull up and it will insert their email address here, and then you can type your message. It will send your instructor a link directly to the question you're having a problem with, and they can easily get to it and then reply to your question.